Hello, folks, and welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Dave. The guy down there is Scott. We are reviewing 1963's The Raven, starring Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, Boris Karloff, and a very, very young Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
Three of the biggest names of the 20th century in acting. Throw in with a young guy who became the fourth biggest name in the 20th century of acting, especially mid to late 20th century. And this movie is a Roger Corman film. It's rated G, which I was actually surprised on at one point. I was like, well, yeah, it's still G, but
It's still G. Yeah.
the way people act nowadays, it's like, well, I wonder why they didn't change it. But it was G then. It is a G rating. It is
Yeah.
it's a silly movie. And like you had
It's
said,
a silly movie. A silly fumi. Silly movie. Yeah, I can't even English. Anyway.
English.
Yeah,
English.
as I said, it is a silly movie. Now,
Yes.
I just want to interject in this. I watched this movie and it irritated the living shit out of me for a good bit.
Really?
And I realized my issue was that I went into it expecting something serious
Oh,
and
okay.
did not get that at all. And it's like Peter Lorre, God bless him. He's such a great actor.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that he and Nicholson improved so much that Boris Karloff was upset because he was trying to stay on script.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could
That's funny.
see that. You could see their chemistry, and they had a lot of fun. Once I
Yeah.
gave in to this being a really silly movie,
Right.
it was better. It was a better ride, and I got a better enjoyment out of it. I don't know why in my head I was thinking it was going to be something, but I have to say this, Vincent Price, I've yet to watch a movie where he didn't need a new wife. What is going on with this man and all these women? I
I
don't
know, right?
understand.
Well, at least he didn't kill this one.
Nobody probably would have.
He probably should. Well, he left her to die at one point. So,
Yeah. So yeah,
real quick, folks, if you've not watched us before, we do spoilers. We're going to spoil this movie. It's a 1963 movie. It's a Vincent Price movie. We're going to spoil it. Because we talk about everything. It's basically me and Scott watch the movie and then we go talk about it.
yeah.
That's how we review. I don't know what anybody else does for reviews, but that's what we do for a review.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson was very young. This may have been his second or third movie with Corman because I know he did the Feed Me Seymour. What is that one?
Oh, Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. He's in that movie, and that's a Corman film.
I
And
have
this
never seen the original. I'll be
is very
damned.
good. The original,
I'm
I like
sure it
the
is.
original. I think better than the first
Ah,
one, but that's me. Uh, I can't imagine being Jack Nicholson, young actor. You're just kind of trying to make your mark. You're working with Corman, who's not paying you a lot of money, but you get a chance to work with those three.
oh my God.
I will do it for free, man. I would have been like, shh,
Yeah.
you just keep the catering tables open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm good. I'm going to be in a movie with Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, and Boris Karloff.
Well, see,
Yes, I'm there.
that's just it. When we talked about this before, we reviewed a lot of Corman films.
Yeah,
And say what you will about his films, this man brought so many people together. You'd be hard
yeah.
pressed to find any of the past A-listers who hadn't
Mhm.
done a production with Corman, had not been involved some
Yeah,
way with him. He's, this was before the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You have probably people are even closer to Corman
the Corman.
because
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God,
People in
he's
Hollywood,
the one who he
actors.
made a production house and just churned stuff out. Some good, some bad, some memorable, some forgettable,
All
but
entertaining though.
all entertaining. All entertaining, absolutely.
There's a really bad movie. Well, Roger Corman's known for bad movies, but there's a bad monster movie where the monster just reminds me of Sigmund from Sigmund in the Sea Monsters.
Oh yeah.
But it comes to a point. It's just
Oh, I know which one you're talking
like a
about.
cone-shaped
Yes.
monster It's got like little arms and
Yeah,
big
little
eyes.
tentacles on the like a skirt on the
Yeah,
bottom of
yeah.
yeah.
And they said it was so funny because they had to roll it around. Like, and everybody's supposed to be terrified of this thing. And you talk to the actors that were in the movie, and they're like, this thing was anything but terrifying. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's no way you're gonna run from this thing, you know? But Corman was just like, well, I paid the actors, I got the food, I gotta make a monster. What do we got left in the back? Let's make a monster.
Well, and that's
You
one
know?
thing that you'll notice in here. There's a lot of quick um, effects gags,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're very cheaply done. Like that bat. Oh my god, that plastic
Yeah,
bat that was so
yeah,
stiff on Peter Lorre's no on Boris Karloff's neck. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's like, but
It was good.
it is what it is. Uh, Peter Lorre, wow, what a his character. I can't remember the character's name, but he he basically backstabs Vincent
Yeah,
Price's character and manipulates him to basically trying to get him back to this other sorcerer's house so this
right,
sorcerer can learn or steal his power. You find out his wife is actually had ran off with this other sorceress, and Vincent Price thought she
right.
was dead all this time. So Peter Lorre's character is pretty much a jerk, but when he shows up as a bird, and I'm like, here's the thing, dude. I didn't look at the cast. I knew Vincent Price was in it, so I'm watching
Right,
this and I'm hearing
right,
that it's like that voice, that voice. I've heard this voice, and then
right.
I see it's like, oh my god, it's Peter Lorre. And then I'm looking at a very young Jack Nicholson. It's like,
Right.
who is that? I know him. I know
Yeah, I
those
know that
facial
face.
expressions. I know
Yeah,
that voice. I know that delivery.
yeah.
It's you're hearing early Nicholson there, and it's like, oh my God, it's there. And then the
He
one, believe
plays
it or
it.
not, that I had a hard time realizing was Karloff. For some reason, he just looked very different here. I
Yeah, well,
don't know
he's a lot
why.
older at that point. I mean, he
And
was a
then maybe
lot.
that's it. Maybe
He
that's it
did
because his face was fuller, and it's like, who is that?
did
Yeah,
Frankenstein, what, 1930? And he was
yeah. So this
probably
is 30 years
30s.
later. So
He was in
yeah,
his 30s or 40s when he did that, I think.
yeah,
So he was an old guy.
yeah.
And I
And
mean, back
that's it.
then they
Yeah.
probably smoked a pack of cigarettes a day
Oh yeah.
and cigars and stuff, you know. Uh,
Doctors recommended 4 out of 5. Yeah.
right? I remember those commercials. Peter Lorre was Dr. Adolphus Bedloe. Vincent
Bedlow,
Price
that's it.
was Dr. Erasmus Craven. The names were great.
Yes.
Erasmus Craven. Boris Karloff, this is a great name. Dr. Scarabus.
Yes, that was a good name.
They were all wizards. The wife, Lenore Craven, was Hazel Court. She looked really familiar. Olive Sturgis was Estelle Craven. That was the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Rexford Bedloe was Jack Nicholson. And
Rexford
I'm not going to
Bedlow.
bother with any of the other names because why? There's like 5 people. It was a very small cast too.
Very small cast. Very,
They kept,
very not a huge budget. I looked it up. It was like 300,000 or something like that.
wow.
Um,
Most of that probably went
so
to
that's
the
a
actors.
yeah, it was a pretty big budget for a smaller movie like that. This was one that was thrown together. It's
Yeah.
entertaining as long as at least once I approached it from I'm going to watch something really silly. It's like
Right. Right.
yeah, because it was rubbing me wrong until I just let myself go with it. So that's what I recommend. It's
I should have
I've se-
warned you because I
I've
remember
seen a lot
it being
worse,
I remembered it being silly and I should have warned you about that. But if
but
if Vincent
he,
Price, he can go either way. He can either go
he
creepy
can.
and scary where it's kind of serious, or he can go the Raven,
Yeah.
very,
Well,
very silly and funny.
and with Corman, I don't hate his movies. It's
No,
just
no, no.
we've reviewed some stinkers in my eyes that
Yeah,
you liked and I didn't. I mean,
yeah,
I really liked the Wasp Woman,
right.
and I know that's not one of his better ones, but
No,
hey,
it's not. But I like the Wasp Woman in
yeah.
retrospect. But I just think what I do is look at it and go, it should have been so much better. It
Oh,
could have
and
been so much better.
that's what we can look at
What
with
it was,
almost any. Yeah.
the really cool thing about this movie, The Raven, is the sets.
Yes.
There's only a few set pieces. They they have the one main room when you go into Scarabus's big mansion castle
Mhm.
thing, and that gargoyle pit with all the fire in it.
Yeah,
I love that set piece. I love that
that
set
was
piece.
cool.
I love, oh, it's such a cool look. I'm like, oh, I'd love to have that. If I had a house big enough, I would have that and
Well,
like
it felt like they were
right in the
going
main
into
hall.
Dracula's castle. It was a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
foreboding entrance. It was very grand. It was the
yeah, yeah.
scale looked much bigger than it actually was. Yeah,
It,
sets were beautiful.
the one thing that I thought was very funny, and Corman didn't try to hide it. I don't know if it was part of the joke. I honestly don't know, or if it was just a happy accident. But when they're riding up to the castle, there's four different castles that they use, four different castle shots. They're not just
I thought, I
a
was like, wait a
little
minute.
unalike.
No,
They are
dude, it's
completely
noticeable.
different castles from completely different angles from, from completely different countries. One's up on a hill, one's
Different
not.
skies.
One, yeah, one. It
One's
was great.
daytime, one's nighttime. Yeah, I thought
Oh,
my eyes were tricking me. It's like, wait a minute, did I what? And then
they
I just
did
let it
pretty.
go. But yeah,
Yeah, they did pretty good with the matte paintings, I thought.
yeah,
Um, going
it was
across the
okay.
bridge and stuff. I
Yeah,
thought that was pretty good. I, for the amount of money that the guy who spent, man, you gotta hand him the props. 300,000 back in
he
1963.
made an
Not to
entertaining movie
sneeze at. Yeah,
with top actors that would get people in. Um, it's just it's not a it's not a great movie.
not a
It's
great movie.
entertaining.
It is
Yeah,
entertaining and I like it. It's very
yeah.
fun. But Vincent Price and Peter Lorre did a few movies with him. I mean, I think Vincent Price just liked to do silly stuff or weird
Well,
things, you
of
know.
course, of
And
course.
it's you got Corman going, "Hey, come on, man, we can do this. Come on, do
Yeah,
whatever you
why
want,
not?
kid.
Yeah.
You're Vincent Price. Do whatever the hell you want." But I want to say Vincent Price and Peter Lorre did a few. I'm 90% sure Vincent Price did. And I think Peter Lorre did. And he probably did them with Vincent Price because those two were funny.
Yeah,
And good
yeah.
good chemistry between those two fellas.
Absolutely. It was immediate.
Yeah.
Immediate when they
Oh
were hell
yeah.
before he even turned human, the chemistry was
Yeah.
there. And it's like, oh, you guys are good.
And the end line that Vincent Price gives to Peter Lorre, quoth the raven nevermore.
Yes.
Shut your beak. That was great.
Oh, he was horrible. I mean, insufferable, just the
Yeah.
constant. It's like, oh, he's just such a neat character. But as the minute I saw him, I was like, oh my God, it's Mr. Moto.
Yeah. Who's he gonna kill today?
Yeah.
That's
He's gonna
funny.
solve this one. Oh, wait, wrong
Yeah.
movie.
That's funny. Oh no, he's the cause. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah. So I definitely, if you're into Vincent Price, you
Right.
need to watch this. Peter Lorre. You get to see some early appearances of Jack Nicholson, and of course the ever wonderful Boris Karloff, who
Yeah.
he just it's so funny. When he showed up the first time, I said he looks like a pope. You know, I don't know, it was
Yeah.
his
With the
outfit. It's
hat and
like,
the
yeah, I was like, okay, here's the Boris Karloff as the pope. But
when Boris Karloff starts to talk.
yes, it's an
Yeah.
entertaining film. I it's a Corman film. It's about all I
Yeah.
can say on that. What you
Roger
got, Dave?
Corman, Roger Corman, Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, and I'll say it again, Jack Nicholson, early, young. You got freaking Boris Karloff. And you have some pretty women in there, like Hazel Court. I know I've seen her in other stuff,
Mhm.
probably other Corman films. And the daughter
Oh,
who
I'm
played
sure.
Olivia Sturgis, who played the daughter. I
She
know
looked
I've seen her
familiar.
in other films. They're both very pretty ladies, not hard to look at, and really did a good job.
Mm.
And what's funny is I didn't read any reviews where they talked about Jack Nicholson. He was a tempting role. He did his best. Like in one of the last movies we watched with Vincent
Yeah.
Price. He did he tried his best, folks. That one actor. But
Oh.
I don't even remember what movie that was from, but I remember
Yeah.
dying laughing when I read the damn review and just went off on it. Um, yes, it's fun. It's rated G. The whole family can watch it. If you got kids and you want to give them a quote unquote scary movie to watch, this is perfect for him because there's
Yeah,
nothing scary about it. It's just really neat.
it's gonna sound weird. It feels like a Disney movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but a little
I can
edgier. But it's
little edgier,
a
a
little
little bit more
dirtier,
tongue in
meaning
cheek.
grittier. Yes, a
Yeah,
little more innuendo, a
yeah.
little more. Yeah, it's definitely a G movie. It really is.
Oh
It's
yeah,
tame. It's
yeah.
tame. So, but hey, folks, if you like our reviews, listen to us just bitch and moan about old ass movies. Hit
Yeah.
like, hit share, hit subscribe, and we'll
Follow
check.
us.
Yeah,
Absolutely
follow us.
follow us.
We're on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll find us there too. So, old ass movie reviews. Thanks again. We'll catch you next week.